Klar ist legt für ein bisschen Charoises und was anzudenken der Mura soll nicht sein so bitter. Und das haben wir in der größten Nest, der Nest von so Ischanik, was gegeben von Jeden, so viel Simche, so viel Aminna, so viel Betuchen. In der Zeit, ich bin mir nur so hier, geht mich gesagt, der Spuches Azzan, und ich geht mich gesagt, klar ist rum, und ein bisschen Devra Chizuk, und ein bisschen Devra Aminna, Betuchen, Geille.
Sholom Aleichem, alle Teire Brüder und Schwester und Schützen alle Baronen und Rabbonen. Wir Gringe reden Jiddisch und wir denken sich besser reden Jiddisch, weil ich habe nicht gerade Jiddisch für 8 Jahre. Aber meine Mama lässt nicht Jiddisch. Aber bezahlt der Teves called me gebeten reden auf Englisch. So what I said was Heidel Hashem Kitei Kilam Chazdei. It's amazing to be in a situation where before they were pulling at me with hate, and now between brothers they're pulling at me with love, and Avos Yisrael and Achdas Yisrael. And I came to share a few thoughts with everybody about what I lived through and how we could further mechazik ourselves in the Munah B'tochen, and through Munah B'tochen to bring the Geula Prati and Geula Koli. We all gather tonight to come together in the same Avos, Achdas Yisrael, that we see how it brings a Yeshua. And the feeling I feel like is a Hinuk Chilmi. It says, Golus is a Cholim. Golus is likened to a dream or a nightmare. Why? Because at a dream, two opposites can happen at the same time. You can have this terrible tragedy that befell our brothers and sisters. They should also want to cry, and at the same time we celebrate a geula that frees a person from a very bad situation of pain and suffering for decades. And with all of that, we stay firm in our amunah in the Eibishter, that everything the Eibishter does. Everything that happens to us is coming from Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad from the Eibishter, and it's specifically in a time when nothing makes sense, and the Seichel can't understand it, and all the feelings can't understand what they're feeling, and specifically at that time that a Yid does the Yiddish thing. And he goes deeper into the neshama to reveal the emunah that he has betava. We all have been we all have emunah deibishta. I'm a simple person who was thrust into a situation, and I had a choice of going through it like a Yid or going through it like a Goy. And like a good Yid, I went through it like a Yid. I knew that whatever was happening with me was not something by accident. Hashem teaches us that everything, even a little leaf falling on the street, is how much more so the Ben Yochad of the Eibishter himself. Everything happens to a person by pratis. So when an Asayyan falls a person, the first thing he has to know is that it's happened is coming from one source, from the Eibishter himself, and the Eibishter is Tachas HaTev. And by holding on to the Eibishter stronger, that's the way one reveals the Tachas HaTev that lies behind the mask. That's what I learned in yeshiva. That's what my teachers taught me, and that's what I believe, and that's exactly what I did. And together with the emunah that every Yid has, the Eibishter wants from him also to have betochen in him. Betochen means that he trusts in the Eibishter to get him out of the bad matzav. He trusts in the Eibishter will give him a good that he can actually see that is good. And betochen is not just a good idea. It's not positive thinking in the sense a lot of people mistake it for where you have these self-help books that teach you positive thinking. That's a goyish way of looking at things. The Yiddish way of betochen means the Eibishter wants you to understand that and to firmly with a deep feeling that only the Eibishter is the one that's with you, and therefore you give yourself over to the Eibishter. The mashal that Teves Levavos uses is ke'eved, like a servant who finds himself in the jail of his master. You know, when I was first thrown into jail, there was a judge in the jail too. Amazingly, there was a judge. He was a big reader of the Bible, and he suddenly sees a Yid in front of him. So he wanted to talk to me a lot about the Bible, and initially I didn't want to talk to him about it. I said to him, "You're going to start talking about you know who, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about him, and you're not going to like it, and you'll hit me. So let's leave it like that." Go push it. But he insisted, and we had many conversations. There was once a Yid that came back from Russia, the fellow Khan. He came back from Russia, so he kept his years in Siberia. So he says when you didn't see each other, they didn't see each other for 30 days, you say Shachianu, yeah? If you don't see your friend for 12 months, what happens if you meet a Yid you never saw before in your life? What do you machen? Shachianu B'dvari. Shachianu B'dvari. Akoponim, betochen means. So one time I used to go out to eat kosher food. Didn't want to eat kosher food over there, and he was always suspecting that I was eating better food than him, and I was actually. But so one time I asked him, what, so I told him a rabbi came to visit me. We talked. And also people used to come to learn with me. So one time he asked me, he said, "What'd you learn?" So I said, "I learned about trusting in God. And my lesson's right here, because I'm sitting in jail, and I just learned about trusting in God is understanding that nobody can help me, and nobody can hurt me. Everything comes only from God. And I'm learning it as I'm sitting here in jail, that you're totally dependent on what people bring you. You have nothing there." So that's what really betochen means. Betochen means giving yourself over to the Eibishter, doing what the Eibishter wants, and understanding it's only the Eibishter that you have to talk to, and daven to him. That's another thing. when a person gets into a matzav, the Eibishter wants you to talk to him, daven to him, ask him, beg from him. Don't be a Iber Chacham. Understand and know that the Eibishter is listening to you. Halavai, I can daven here as good as I daven there. I'm trying to. But the evidence is, I eat daven with understanding that the Eibishter wants him, that the sign that comes to a person for no other reason other than the Eibishter knows you can come through the Nesayah. And every Yid has a job, has a purpose. His purpose is to be Megala, Gatlichkeit, God in this world, the Eibishter in this world. And the way he does it is through seeing the Eibishter and everything that goes on around this world. And a Yid, I guess, Amunah B'tachon means thinking like a Yid and understanding things like the way the Eibishter wants us to see it. So, when I came out, everybody wants. When I came, first I want to explain that if I have time. I want to talk about something very important about Amunah B'tachon. There's a chayra stira. The status Amunah means that you believe what the Eibishter does, everything is gam zula teva. Right? Amunah means that you trust, you believe that whatever is happening is coming from the Eibishter. You don't understand exactly what the Eibishter is doing, and you say gam zula teva. B'tachon means in the first Perek in Cheves Lavavis, most of B'tachon menuchas mechshavad. Why? Because he knows that the Eibishter will give him, the one who trusts him will give him what he wants. B'tachon means to get what the person wants, what he's asking the Eibishter for. So, which one is it? Is it that we believe that the Eibishter will give us what he knows is good, or are we trusting the Eibishter to give us what we were asking for? And they're both, Emunah and B'tachon are both, you say this in our Emunah. So one of them says Emunah is Gam Zula Teva. That we trust, we believe the Eibishter that knows better for what's for us, and B'tachon means that we trust in the Eibishter to give us what we're trusting for. Simple B'tachon that everybody knows means that you have B'tachon, that you have Neis Tzara, and you're trusting the Eibishter to give you. You have a job, and you trust the Eibishter to give you Parnasa through the job. Not that the Eibishter knows how much money to give you. Yes, the Eibishter, you're going to do what you want. You need a refuah. You trust the Eibishter to send you a refuah. So wie stimmt beide Sachen gam zula teva, that you don't do anything, you only what the Eibishter wants, and B'tachon means nein, ich gehe wetten bei dem Eibishter, I'm ask by the Eibishter what I need, and I trust the Eibishter to give it to me. How does it put together? So the answer is brought that once something happens, the Yid has full emunah in the Eibishter that gam zula teva. Whatever happened to him is the best thing that can happen to him. At the same time, for going forward, it has to know that the Eibishter wants that B'tachon, that they should trust the Eibishter to give him what he wants. So you can actually have Amunah B'tachon at the same time. You can accept whatever the Eibishter is doing as being the best thing that can ever happen to you, even if you don't understand it. And at the same time, for going forward, for the future, you can have B'tachon the Eibishter to give you what you need, what you're asking for. So every day is an avar heva v'asid. Every day you can live with simcha, knowing that the Eibishter is giving you what you need and for the best thing for you. And every day you can live with simcha, knowing the Eibishter is going to help you. Going forward, and you don't get disappointed by what you didn't have yesterday, because yesterday you didn't understand exactly what was good for you. The Eibishter knows was good for you. But going forward, the Eibishter says, I want to hear what you have. Tell me what you want, tell me what you need, and I'll give it to you. So, how does the Eid think? When the Eid is a massive, here is a situation where you have to take v'chayit in the libe, you have to take up a lesson from the whole tragedy. There's still those who need a refuah shlema, they should give them a refuah shlema b'karev. There's still tremendous need for support. Both emotionally and physically with money, and at the same time rejoice. So the first thing is, along with checking your person's fire alarms, there's an inyan of checking mezuzahs. I'm sure everybody here in this room is checking mezuzahs, but for the person, we know mezuzahs are shemirah. And it would be worthwhile for people to go through the house and check. Maybe a door is missing a mezuzah, maybe a mezuzah is not correct. So you have the union of Shema Dal Yisrael. Another thing I was thinking about, one of the biggest nisenos I went through personally was with my eyes, watching my eyes. And I want to share something with you here. Have some time to talk? Okay. Yeah, can I? Okay. I spent a lot of time in a place called prison, but it was a big building. It had multiple buildings in that facility. If you can visualize this, the center of the room was a lot smaller than this was a center, and around, you have a balcony there. You had 5 floors of a lot of doors around and around and around, and each door was a cell. The people were locked in their cell almost half a day. I'd say 40% of the day they were locked in, and then they would lock people in every time they wanted to count them. It's counting. The state by the Ebische counts even One of the ways I was able to overcome a lot of things was to tie everything in the Kedusha and see how Klippa looks at it. They weren't locking them Techibos, they weren't counting Techibos, but they count. They're busy counting. Interestingly enough, the center of the room had monitors all around. First there were small ones, and then the guy came in and big ones. And the guys would sit there hours and hours and hours and hours and watch. You think they grew a mushroom. They sitzen and cooking. And Baruch Hashem, and right away you told the people that feel bad for you, kannst gucken, guck nicht. Again, that's the Goyish way of thinking. By looking at what they're doing, you are actually putting yourself into enjoying what they enjoy, and to live in there through their experiences. And I actually had no desire to find out how Goy lives. So one of the things I did when it became foggy outside, many days become foggy. It was on a mountain, and many days it become foggy. So they had a term for it called adverse weather. Adverse weather, they can't see the fence line. So they would tell everybody they have to go in to the cell every 2 hours and lock them in, and then walk around and count them. No, in 2015, 2014, 16, 13, whatever it was up to then. I mean, today with today's technology, you can know where every person is every step of the way, where he is, who he is. They have to lock a guy in the room and see him, make sure he's there. Hashem says that from everything that each season hears, he has to take a hira and Avodas Hashem. I was trying to look at hira and Avodas Hashem from it. It's my gefallen as I gedank. The ear, we all know, at first, a person has 5 chushim, 5 senses, right? Touch, hearing, sight, taste. The chush that's ma'amis, something for us, is the chush of the ear. The chush of seeing. Right? If you learn the Rambam, the Kuzari, the Chavos Lavavis, it always talks about how the Eibishter revealed himself to the whole Klal Yisrael. Why? Like Moshe Rabbeinu says in Dvarim, I wasn't the middleman here. You yourself saw the Eibishter come down, and you yourself heard the Eibishter Nech Hashem Lekecha. And B'meila, it's Emes. So the Eibishter gave us a Keyach called Keyach Hariyah. And with Keyach Hariyah is the only chush we have that can be ma'amis, something that we're looking at. When we see something, we know it's true. Ein Eid Nasadayan, the whole union of Eidus, everything is around this concept of when you see something, that's what makes it true. Hearing lav dafke. When you hear something, you're not so sure. Today everybody hears, they believe everything they hear, but a normale mensch if he hears, not so sure it's true. It's specific. If you touch something, you don't even know what you're touching. Seeing, when you see something, you know it's true. So what happens? So the sign of our generation is that our eyes are a whole day watching screens, And we know that what we're watching, whoever's watching, what they're watching, is not true. Because there's a whole industry called around special effects. And the special effects are there to show you things that you know is not true. It's living a dream, and you're watching it. So what damage are you doing to your eyes? Even I'm not talking about the hepachatznius, I'm not talking about all other bad problems. You're training yourself to see things and not believe it. Right? That's basically what you're doing. You're training yourself that you can see something and it's not the. So this is what the damage you're doing is when you see a heilige Eid, when you see a heilige Zach, you see a heilige Shabbos, you see a heilige, you become coarse to it. You become it does not affect you anymore because you could see things and that doesn't affect you anymore. You can walk into to your rabbi, to your mashgiach, to your zayda, whoever it is. Look at him, and in our generation, you see a heilige Eid. Oh, how did I yearn to see a Yiddish upon him? You would go by weeks. There were few in there also, but you see, good volunteers would come. They would come and you mamash feel a Yiddish upon him. But if you keep your eyes glued to the screens, the first damage you're doing is you're destroying your ability to see things for real. And this comes back. Just on this story, I came out, and I see everybody's holding these square little things, and everybody's a photographer. Used to be to hire a photographer. You don't need to hire a photographer. All the photographers. So everybody comes to greet me, and Mat Hashom criticizing anybody. It doesn't bother me really at all, but it's just funny. They come with you, Sholom Aleichem. Now I never got used to it, but it was funny. I'm pleased. I'm not upset. It's called a selfie. If I don't know what I'm talking about. En daar slaap ik ook dort. Very good. Al Kaponim, my family came to rejoice in the celebration. I'm just giving you an outside view. A guy came from a different planet. He dropped on planet Earth and he's looking at what's going on. So enjoy the commentary. But this is more on a serious note. It's a painful note. So one of my family members walked out of the house, and the family panicked. They got lost in Borough Park. No, by me, I grew up in Borough Park. I'm 50th Street, and I didn't think Borough Park was a dangerous place. I said, it's not good. But for now, everybody's Meshuggah. They'll go up and down the streets. They're called Shomrim, whatever they're called, looking for the child that was lost. And Baruch Hashem, they found him. Baruch Hashem. The next morning, I walk down the steps. I see one of the kids, and he's sitting on the couch, and he's looking at this thing. And Levi, he was looking at Gemara, the way he was looking into this thing. You can tell by body language. I said, I didn't get done the Zach. And I later spoke to my parents. I said, when your child gets physically lost in the streets of Borough Park, it's not a dangerous place. You go crazy. And when your child gets lost in the streets of wherever he's at, he's somewhere else. He's definitely not there. Nobody doesn't bother anybody. I mean, get them noch zu. How do you get it? You got a present. Somebody got it. Bother them nicht. So, I believe one of the things that really kept me going in coming back to that's what Amun B'tochen is to look at see the reality of Hashem Yisborach as a real existence, which he is. The only existence that does exist is the and not get caught up with everything that's around us. So one side we want Amun B'tochen, and the second side we keep on pumping ourselves with images of the world around us. I would say one of the biggest mazel I had, I never looked at a screen over there. Ever. I talked to a guy by Eden there's a thing called Chushatzir. Imagine, I once described this in one of the letters I wrote to the class in Stolen. I communicated with a believer solution, this class in Stolen. I lived in Stolen for the first 6 years. And it was out of Slichus. And you imagine you're locked into a cell with a Yehudi. He's sleeping on a top bunk, a chropet. You're in a room about the size of these two tables, a small, tiny room, and you're staying up for chatzos to say, you walk to shul, you're inspired. You walk into the shul, you're inspired. Just eating, you're inspired. What's the inspiration there? So one of the things you do is you close your eyes, and you try to imagine the time I was in shul also. not that young. I also came to shul slichas, and I also saw Yidden. So I tried to replay those images in my mind. That's called chushatzir. Mitzay, that's good. Ik ga nog van hier. No. Wacht doen. Drops liggen. And that's been tired to myself. The Chazan starting Ashrei and Kaddish. I davened the 770. I used to be Messiah myself as the Rebbe came in, and the crowd becoming quiet, and the song that would come, the Rachamon, the Honor, and with that I davened. Okay? Imagine this, the whole place is very noisy all day. At night it comes like a basic kvaros. It's very quiet. Everybody's locked into their cells, and Idel is davening over there in his cell. And I wrote to the children, when you're watching these technological things, you're damaging your chushatzir. You don't have a chushatzir anymore, right? Because it's called static in English, whatever you call it, interference, yeah? As you're trying to bring back images of your tzaddikim that you saw in your life, your Rebbe, your teacher, your mashgiach, your mashpia, whatever, alongside comes other images that you acquired. So the first thing is damage control. The first thing is stop pumping the head with images that shouldn't be there. First of all, self-preservation. There was a guy there. When I first came. He left about 5 years into it. He's a tall, schwarze guy. He was a Muslim. That's a gehalten als an imam by them. We had very good relations, and they came out. There was a big tumult in the period of a big tumult. They were selling them MP3s. MP3s like a little tzazkaza, and you can buy. They'll sell you music. They'll sell you music on the thing. And I guess I don't know how it got out. Word got out that Rubashkin is not buying an MP3. I don't know why he's watching me. Right? So he comes over to me and he says to me, "Why aren't you buying MP3? Everybody's buying MP3s." I said, "They have my body in jail. They're not going to get my mind in jail." Just like that. I said, what are they selling me? They're selling me their songs, what they want. And he's a Muslim, so he always talked about them. So I'm good. I'm happy where I am. I don't want to connect with them. So we had a conversation about it, and he said, "You're right. I'm not getting one either." So for the Yiddish guy, it lasted all the time. For him, it lasted about 2 months, and he bought one. That's the point. The point we have in the neshama. He saw the truth of what I was saying. He agreed that what I was saying was true. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have the neshama. We have a neshama. We have the neshama that's yearning and to connect with the Eibishter. We have the neshama that's yearning to speak to the Eibishter. We have the neshama that believes in the Eibishter. That's we're talking to the Eibishter. We have to allow the neshama to express itself. So to finish this conversation on a practical note is hit the eigen, wash your eyes. And I know I'm speaking to a lot of people who think I'm crazy about even talking about this, but I see on the tables they have these about smartphones and dumb people. This phone works just as good as any other phone. You have a smartphone. I walk into shul. It's not criticism. I'm criticising anybody. It's just funny. So I'm used to when davening. I'm used to holding a siddur. I hield it with Asifas, und mit davend. Zeg ik in een statement als een smartphone, und davend. What is he watching? I'm sure he's not watching a ball game. He's picked up a page. But this keli that he's holding is not a helika keli. He's holding a siddur. It's simple, not getting into too sophisticated. When you're holding a siddur, you're holding a chumash, you're holding a davar shebekdusha. You can't go to the bathroom with it. When you have to treat it in a kaddish way. His name is written on it. And you're holding it, and you're davening from it. And when you go with an iPhone, you don't have to. You do go into the bathroom with it, and you don't have to treat it with kedusha. So why use it? And it's not only about you. A lot of times, it's about what your child is looking at. Stop a second and think, what's that there? What is he looking? What's he looking at? What is your neighbor looking? What does he see? How do they perceive it? How many things do we do in Yiddishkeit simply for chinuch? What kind of chinuch is this? I'm a complainer. The point is, you need it for business, you need it for any purpose, you need it, use it. But any other time, use a phone, buy a phone. How much does it cost? $70, $80. Buy a regular phone, use a phone. You need to use it for ways to get directions, or any other thing to buy tickets. So you get on your computer, you use it. You don't have to have an iPhone always available to you. Okay, enough on that. But the point is, the Seydus is, we're looking to have a Munah B'tochen. And through the Munah B'tochen have the Gula. And imagine the Kedusha that from this tragedy, in the Zech Nishmas, these Kedeshim, people would make a achlota, we're putting the iPhone away. And tell people about it. And make a movement, I put my iPhone away. Imagine the Kedusha that I would do for the Neshamas, the Kedeshim that passed away, and what we do for the survivors, and for the refuah for those who have to survive, as that Kedusha to bring into the world. And I want to finish up the discussion with one more thought about B'tochen. We talk about the Munah, Aleph Beis Gimel, and Munah and B'tochen brings the Gula. So easy, Aleph Beis Gimel. It's also Ish Echad, Belev Echad. Aleph is Ish Echad, Beis Belev Echad. To the Achdas Navas Yisrael, there's no question in my mind that the Nisim that we see is coming from the Ava and Achdas Yisrael, the Eden all gathered together to daven for me in the hard times, and now celebrating the good times, and thanking the Eibishter for his Nisim. And that's what B'tochen is about. People make a mistake and think, I guess the Stadlis, everybody knows the Stadlis, spell Stadlis in English and Hebrew, and everybody's into the Stadlis, because Derech HaTeva, everybody understands. Okay, the Eibishter helps too, no? But the truth is that Eid is higher than Teva. I mean, if you see a thing right, the Eid is a neshama, eliki, a chelik elika, in times of mal mamash, that's in the guf, and he's higher than Teva. Elamai, the Eibishter wants the neshama to reveal how the Teva is also godliness. The Teva also is from the Eibishter. So he wants him to work to Derech HaTeva. So when we do a Stadlis, and this is one that you say this in the Chivs Lavavis, in Shara B'tochen, the whole Stadlis is only in order to make a keli or to make a siba, how he calls it. But when you're making a siba, you have to know firmly the only reason you're doing it is because Eibishter told you to do it. Now, what happens if there's nothing to do? What happens if a person is a matziv? There is no siba. There's no siba to do anything. So some people think there's no matziv, there's nothing to do, zaraya. That the matzav is small, it'll be Taurus now, right? The emphasis fakert. Dafke then is when the person has b'tochen. The Eibush is telling the person, with this situation, you have to do nothing. Sit and have b'tochen, let me, I'll take care of it. Hashech al Hashem Yehovcha, throw on the Eibush to your package. He will feed you. Chakalacha also comes from the word keli. The Eibush will make the keli. The Eibush will make the siva. So b'tochen means that if you have what to do, you do it. If you don't have what to do, then the Eibush is telling you have nothing what to do. Have it talking to me and I'll take care of it. It's not that just the thing is over. Just it's an experience. After 2 experiences, I'll finish it off the best. I got it. The last year Pesach was a matzav. They set everybody. Some people leave prison, and some people didn't have a partner in the cell. So, for example, the cell that I was with, he left, and I was myself for a few weeks. So they made a rule that you can't be by yourself. You have to have somebody else with you. So you have a choice. You can either pick one for yourself. It's a small story, but it brings the point very well. And it's actually a big thing. It was a big Chazdi Hashem what David did for me. And I want to thank him for it. You can choose somebody for yourself, or we'll give you somebody. So what do you need? I'm Jewish, and I daven, and I learn. And the bathroom, it's stating in Gemara Brachas, it says that Eisher has Besakise Samach L'Shulchanei. So every outside is a Eisher because the table is here and the Besakise is here. So Mamash Samach L'Shulchanei Bepel Mamash. So Baruch Hashem, I was pale that I was able to put a curtain around it. So I would have to make a bracha, wash my hands with. And I used to get up early in the morning, say Tehillim, and learn and daven. Shabbos, I wouldn't want to ask a guy to put on the light. So I always like to partner with somebody who would agree to keep the light on all Shabbos. And other things would go on. So you wanted to have somebody who was willing to put up with what I needed as a Yid. Baruch Hashem, the first few years, the guy who I met was a person from Panama. And his very shach was a Yid. And we lived together until he left. So this situation is, now I got to have a choice. I got to find somebody, or they're going to give me somebody. So all my friends told me, Shlomartha, you have to choose somebody, because if they send you somebody, you can get a murderer, you can get Chizuk. So I looked around. How do I know of it? I hardly know anybody. The few people I knew, then I had an idea, maybe this one. We spoke about it once, twice, and this guy is not going to work out. So the advice that I got was, no matter what, you have to choose yourself. And I decided to think like a Yid. Look like a Yid. Klora Eigen, Reine Eigen, very Yid. I don't have an Eitzah here. The one I'm choosing is definitely not good. And I did that. I didn't choose. I started saying I was doing the wrong thing. And for one day, they sent me a person, a very bad person, but he left the next day. He said, you mumble too much. I was saying to him. Pesach, they stands in the guy, his name is Tom, and it's hard for me to say, you couldn't ask for a better guy, and Teves, you don't belong there, but I couldn't have found a person that would be more b'chavdik than him. I couldn't do a better job. They presented me him. When I davened, he walked out of the room. When I learned, he walked out of the room. If I was middle of davening, he would knock on the door, he would stay away. The light didn't bother him. If I was davening too low, he would tell me, Rabbi, daven high, I don't hear you. I'm amazing. So I say, what? It's like, yeah, you put me to sleep anyways. When you go through life and you see the small smiles the Eibush gives you, you see the Eibush is with you. Baruch Hashem, I always felt the Eibush was with me. I was with the Eibush, the Eibush was with me. I tried my best to do every mitzvah I can do there properly and connect myself with the Eibush, the learning and davening. And Baruch Hashem, I saw the Eibush was with me. This is one of the small stories that Mamash saw, how the Eibush is taking care that I should be able to do what I have to do. So this brings out the point I was saying about betochen, is if you don't have what to do, learn about it. First thing you have to do is learn. If you want to know what betochen is, You have to learn. There's forum today. I just met a Rav over here who wrote Purim on Sefer B'tochen. It's not so hard. It's B'tochen, and it's shaykhs for everybody. And it's what we need. We have to have a Munah and B'tochen, and the Munah and B'tochen will bring the Geula. Baruch Hashem, we're witnessing and celebrating a Geula Prati, and together we should continue our Avos Yisrael and Achdos Yisrael. And the Achlotas Teves we did already here is I'd like to see if I didn't get the name, Rabbi Azari, if you have an email address. There's nothing wrong. Through computer, huh? So what's the email address? Huh?
David Ozeri Tariq.
David Ozeri Tariq. Is that the A? D-A-V-I-D? No, I'd like you to write in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100,000, whatever it is. Schrijf rein, the Achlota Teve that you did, you inspired to take upon yourself the schus of the Kadeshim, that the Eibah should have Rachmanas on us. And finish with the word in the Parsha. This week's Parsha says, Vayizaku, this week's Parsha, the Eibah, we went down to Mitzrayim, and the Eibah hears our cries, and the Eibah reveals himself to Moshe Rabbeinu, and says him to take out Mitzrayim. Before the Eibah reveals himself to Moshe Rabbeinu in the Sneh, it says, Vayizaku, Yisrael Elokim, yeah? And the Eden cried out, we have to cry out with pain, and we can't take it no more. We have to talk about Munah with a personal tzara. We're all in tzara, we're all in Golus. And the Shchinte begolusa. So we have to cry out to the Eibush, and then comes the Geula. We have to know the Eibush is waiting for us. It's not enough to have a Munah. The Eibush was taking care of where he was. We want betochen, we have to be kivri l'Mashiach, we have to be mekaver to our Geula Shleima. Through Tengach if you say for your email address, okay, so whatever you can be mefarsim, the Achlotas days what we did, and together we will dance with the Mashiach Tzadkein, b'meir mamash, amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Reb Shulam, for bringing so much simcha, inspiring Klal Yisrael. You want to thank you, yeah?
Befrat, after such an Asifa, we have to, I can't forget that Kuras HaTov, we have to give, first of all and foremost, to Rabbi Yankov Meir from his Askim, who was there by, this, of course, it's not a Chiddush, because he does this all the time, but in this particular case, he was there by the fire. And we want to thank the 66th Precinct for everything they did, the Fire Department of New York, and we want to thank Ari Frankel from AF Productions, the TMG Marketing Group, and Rabbi Yoel Labin, who put so much effort here, and excellent sound and lighting, and TorahAnytime.com. Seid gesinnt Jeden, seid gesinnt stark. Hashem shall help. We shall be able to meet only on Simchas.
Yoeli, yeah.
Stellt sich ein Minyan Maariv auf der rechten Seite von der Saal in 2 Minuten. Minyan Maariv, there will be a Minyan for Maariv on the right side of the hall.